Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, our host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the WZ-121B, the Golden Warrior. Now, this, in my opinion, is one of the best-looking Tier 10 vehicles, and in fact, best-looking vehicles in general in World of Tanks Blitz. Not only does it look great, but it's also a fantastic medium vehicle at the class. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about the tank, because, of course, it has come into the store today for the price tag of 15,000 gold, which is just shy of about $50 US. So I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about the tank in today's video. The statistics, how it plays, and of course we'll be suiting that up with some live gameplay. And if you want to come up against this vehicle, I'll also be telling you some of the weak spots if you do want to take it out. So of course, if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more reviews like this, please make sure to smash that subscribe button down below, especially if you find yourself hanging around the channel but you haven't clicked that button yet, as it helps out the channel a crazy amount. But first of all, let's get straight into these statistics. Now this vehicle of course carries a 105mm. A lot of people think that this tank is a lot worse than the WZ-121, the Tier 10 tech tree counterpart, because the 121 has a 420 damage gun with very similar damage per minute. But one thing people don't get is that the 121B is more like a Tier 10 T62A with a bigger gun, because the T62A is a very accurate vehicle, and so is this tank. The 121 has terrible dispersion on the move, and as well terrible dispersion in general at 0.335. The 121B is at 0.308. It's very accurate on the standard shells, and as well, the aiming time at only 2.5 seconds is through the roof. So that means you can very easily snap your shells right into the enemy, and not only that, but they're usually not going to miss, as that dispersion is very good. So it's got fantastic DPM as well, sitting at 3,464. Now, of course, I am a calibrated boy, so we're going to go swap that on, and what calibrated does is it brings your heat pen up to 330, making you able to penetrate turrets of vehicles like a Mouse, E100, superstructure of tanks like a Jagdpanzer. So it definitely helps you on getting through thick frontal armor. But of course you are going to be dropping about 200 damage per minute, so it's always the user's choice if you want to run DPM or you want to run the penetration. But overall, it's got a lot of great statistics for the gun handling, and as all, average damage at 350 is what really makes this vehicle stand out in my opinion, because the average tank like the T62A is sitting at 310 damage. Same for the Object 140 and the T22 medium. And I don't really like that low alpha damage. I always like the vehicle, I think they look cool, but I just don't like that little pestering gameplay where you've got a pea shooter. I really like the 121B because it hurts. You know, 350 damage when trading with a vehicle like a 62A, of course, is going to hurt that player a lot more than it's going to hurt you, especially when you're sitting at almost the exact same damage per minute if you're both running gun rammer. Now, finally, it's got 6 degrees of gun depression, which is decent. It's definitely not great, but it's just one less than the T62A, and because of that, I actually rate this vehicle just as good as the T62A on playstyle-wise, especially when you realize that the WZ-121B carries the exact same hull armor as the 121, 120mm on the frontal plate, and the turret is 240 frontally, and as well, the hull is 80mm on the side. Now, that doesn't sound fantastic until you realize that a vehicle like the T62A's hull is only 102mm, so not only is the frontal armor about 20% better on the 121B, but also the side armor is about 5% better, which means it's much harder to get big caliber high explosive shells onto the side of the 121B. In my opinion, the 121B is just a super solid vehicle. And of course, one of the main reasons why I absolutely love this thing is because if you're using your gun depression or just wiggling this tank correctly, the upper plate becomes about 220 to 250mm effective. And if you ever take a look at a Sheridan standard pen, well, it's sitting at 220mm, which means that, yeah, you can actually get bounces from Tier 10 Sheridans a lot on the hull armor. In fact, most Tier 10 mediums occasionally will get bounces. Batchats struggle an immense amount to penetrate the frontal armor on the 121B, and that's, I guess, why they gave it the invincible name, and honestly, I agree with that. Now, of course, it's not like an E50M. It's not meant to really bounce shells. It's not like the E50M, or, you know, it's not like these tanks, the T22 medium, where they're just supposed to bounce the most stupid shells on the upper plate or the side armor. It's meant to be a medium tank with decent hull armor, and that's something that's nice, is it's actually a medium with good hull that does get the occasional bounce. It's just something to fall back on. And as well, the turret on this vehicle, in my opinion, is one of the strongest Tier 10 medium turrets you'll find, apart from, again, the T22 medium. That thing is just a beast all around. But let's make our way across this safely, hopefully. There was a... Actually, that was closer than I thought, to be fair. And we actually got across here undetected, which is perfect for us. Let's see if we can get a nice little snap right into the side of the Leopard. Oh, I should have let that aim in all the way. All right, let's try this again here. Aiming in on the Leopard. Maybe, just maybe, we're going to be able to get a shell out. Honestly, I don't know what the enemy team's doing, though, which is kind of weird. We've got a Sheridan who's probably going to peek this ridge and try and get missiles out, but we're not going going to allow that by getting 2 nice taps right into that Sheridan. So that was pretty dang good. And, oh, yep, there they come. I was wondering where the shells in the enemy team was. Yeah, we found them. There's a nice tap right into that FV4005. You can see, though, that when you get this gun aimed in, it usually hits the majority of its shells, which is nice. You know, it doesn't really miss in general, which is fantastic. Now, this 4005, he's just not giving us the weak part of his tank, which is not good for us, but at the same time, just to watch the enemy team get yeeted and deleted. So we should be able to push up here if we do this correctly. Let's get another nice tap. There you go. Another slap right into that 4005. And honestly, the enemy team is already falling apart very, very quickly, which is good for our team, which is great. But I want to get in there and try and get out some damage if we quickly can. So, oh, my M103 blocked that shell. That's a bit of a shame, but we got the Emil 2 right off here, and hopefully we should be able to get some big old shells into the Emil. So there's one nice tap into him, and we should be able to get just one more maybe in. Yes, here we go. And, oh, no! Just trying to get out these big ol' slaps. So we got the 4005, who's currently running away as quickly as possible. We also got the Yag Tiger right in mid, who is a very deadly tank, of course. The Yag Tiger's got some of the most, it's actually sitting at like 3,999 DPM, but because he's not looking at me, that's of course fantastic for me. So let's see if this 4005 is going to finish him off, or I'm going to have to. Nope, he's getting him. That's only one issue with the 4005 for me, is it's going to slap away all my damage. Man, that bounced off the side of him. That's a big bummer for me. All right, let's try this again. Let's aim right at the lower plate of the WZ-113. There you go, nice tap. And even while we are still struggling to get out the damage at least super effectively, we're still getting it out quite easily. Oh my god, though. Man, this gun is not liking me currently, I can tell you that. Alright, let's try this again. Let's get another nice tap into that WZ-113. Well, I don't know why that guy is targeting me so much, but you know what? We're going to keep shooting him here, and he's not going to like it, because this time we're going to back up. So shoot me this time, you booty. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's get a nice, I guess we could get a shell into the IS-4 now, judging that he's the only one left. So there you go, nice tap. But as I said, the hull armor's good. It's not going to bounce everything, but we've already managed to clear 3,400 damage, and with another tap in there, 3,800 now. So you can definitely see where the fantastic DPM comes into play on this tank. Actually out reloading that Vickers CR. Unfortunately, the shell got a little bit of a weird bounce there, but that's a-okay, because we're going to finish him off. So a little bit of a weird game there, getting pens, as you can see, right through that frontal armor. As I said, it's good. It's about 230 millimeters, 220 effective, but most tier 10s, like that 113, are sitting at 260 millimeters of frontal pen. So that's a good disclaimer there. Don't take this vehicle as a super well-armored tank. As I said, it's good against mediums, not against tier 10 heavies. Heavies are usually going to punch through the armor most of the time, and well, again, you do get the occasional bounce. It's not necessarily going to be the best, because even when you're using your gun depression, still only about 250 millimeters effective. But that game honestly didn't seem like I got out that much damage. In fact, I thought that I wasn't getting out much, but it turns out that you can see when you get that gun shooting, it just keeps getting out the damage. And with that high alpha, you can trade with enemy opponents. That's a really nice thing. It's like that 113, if I was in a 62A, yeah, it would probably hurt me a lot more, because I'd be getting hit for 420 when I'm only dealing 310. This vehicle, I can pop out a little bit less often, because of course, the issue with the 62A I personally have is you have to constantly be out in the open to get out your DPM. But this vehicle, it's got about a second longer reload, which means that you can take a little bit of a breather, you can take your time, get your shells out a little bit longer. So let's see if the enemy team's going to cross here. I know they like to. Yep, there's a perfect example, and okay, Wargaming, I guess, alright, well, we're gonna pretend like that didn't happen for right now. We're gonna try this again. We got missiles flying at us already, but let's go for that track wheel. No, a little bit off to the track wheel, but that's okay. We'll put on our adrenaline here and start getting shells into the T110E4. There's another nice tap, and you can start to see where that fantastic DPM really comes into play. So let's get another tap. So that's already 1,027 damage we've picked up, and hopefully, just hopefully, no, I wanted to try and get another shell out, but no, we're not going to be doing that anytime soon. So we got the 62A, we also got the Vickers Light, who, ooh, my gun depression, as you can see, definitely failed me there. But one thing about the Vickers is it will not be able to penetrate me frontally, which is great for me. That means that I don't have to worry about that. We actually hit the view bar on the E100, just unfortunately did not want to penetrate at all. So let's try this again. Let's see if we can penetrate. There you go, nice penetration. There's that frontal armor working once again. As I said, that turret really is strong, and people don't think the turret is super strong, but it is amazing. It bounces so many shells. So we got the E100 once again peeking his front turret, so let's get another nice tap right into there. Another roll for 283, and let's see if we can get one more out on this E100's turret. Come on, angle it towards me. Perfect, 266. So the heat rolls aren't the best, but of course we are still slapping them in quite easily on this E100's turret. Oof, that one was a little bit off to the side, but yeah, I can definitely tell you the enemy team is struggling big time to deal with the 121B. So we got the Object 268 off to the side, who we could try and deal with, but first of all, I want to try and start shooting at this Vickers, because of course, very, very deadly tank on the enemy team. Let's put on our adrenaline here as well, and start getting some big, beefy shells into the side of him. We got the T-92E1 as well off to the side, but I'm not super worried about him. As I do know, I've got way more DPM than the Vickers, and there's a 640 damage bounce from the enemy tank. I actually, I gotta be very careful right now, because of course that is an Object 268, so let's reverse as quickly as possible. Come on, get the shell into the side of the 268. Fantastic. Once again, there's another bounce from the enemy vehicle, and yeah, this is where that frontal armor, as I did say, comes into play. So there goes the enemy T-92E1, and already 3,500 damage picked up. All we have left is the enemy Vickers Light, and once again, this was a fantastic result for the 121B. Now that was not a fantastic result for my shell there. I think that bounced off the side of him or something like that, but either way, you can see that, first of all, the turret got a lot of bounces, something that it does a lot. The side armor managed to take a couple shells from the Vickers Light, managed to bounce this in the side, and as well, we bounced a shell on the upper part from the the T110E4 the enemy team had. So that's a perfect example of the armor working the way it should. And this is why, in my opinion, the 121B is currently one of the strongest tier 10 vehicles in World of Tanks Blitz. Got everything going for it. Good DPM, good alpha damage, it's got good reload, everything is going for it. Good armor profile. It's really just a fantastic tier 10 tank, and in my opinion, it actually would be worth it for the price tag. Now, of course, if you don't have $50 lying around, or you want to save it to the Blitz fair, I completely don't blame you. But if any of you are wondering for a good tier 10 medium that really plays well, is nice to look at, and just a fun drive. And by the way, this thing does earn credits, as you'll notice here. I earned 32,000 credits. It doesn't earn the most, but it still does break even on the credits. My opinion is this is a fantastic tier 10 vehicle, and it's honestly not a terrible deal for $50 US, judging that it comes fully equipped with the legendary camouflage. So hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did and you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.